It is time for the next installment of Conversations, underwritten by Amber Engine. Amber Engine was founded by a team of home furnishing industry innovators, technologists, and experts. Their whole mission is to create a powerful set of tools that make data sharing for the home furnishing industry easy and efficient. We recently added a beloved furniture sponsor, Mo's Home Collection. I'm Dean Horowitz, president of PBM and publisher of Furniture Today. In each of these episodes, we talk to a company or individual that's really pushing our industry forward through innovative thinking and execution. Bill Wittenburg is the CEO of Klaussner Home Furnishings. Klaussner has gone through explosive growth over the last few years due to solid leadership and a solid management team and incredible workforce. Join this conversation now where you can learn about how he pulled it all together and how it's been effective. For this conversation, I'm here with Bill Wittenburg, CEO and president and owner.
And owner. Yeah.
Of Klaussner.
Correct.
5 years with the company? 6 years?
It'll be 7 years, the 3rd of April.
I got my facts all lined up for this one.
Yep.
But you came in an interesting time. A lot of us talk about that when you hit something, if it comes up, it makes you think in a very different way, and you do more successful things as a result. When you came in, you brought this company into a whole nother realm. Where were you a few years ago, and where are you right now?
Well, Dean, you say I brought it into a whole nother realm. Let me qualify this. It's been a team effort. There are an unbelievable group of managers here. And these managers have grown and recognized the need and directionally some of the changes that the company had to go through. The company's has a storied history, extremely successful for many years, and then our industry's gone through an enormous amount of change. Mm-hmm. Not the least of which was a major shift in the retail landscape. And so I suppose, the management team here recognized it, and we all got behind a common alignment, and we've been able to do some, in my estimation, some pretty remarkable things.
Well, absolutely great. That's why we're doing this.
In a fairly short period of time when you look at it in the aggregate.
So the things that you have accomplished are the result of the team, like you're saying, but you had to get everyone lined up, and you had to have some initial successes so that way you had trust. What did you do to have everyone moving in the right direction?
Well, first of all, you got to recognize and understand and admit the things that need to be fixed. So we identified those things. We drove consensus on that list, and then we formulated the plans to attack them on the one-off. This is a very broad product line. Mm-hmm. That had to have an identity, and our identity and our core purpose, our mantra as a company, is to be a leading solutions provider to the home furnishings industry. Now, what does that mean? That means when a retailer comes in to see Klaussner, they may come in for a particular product segment because they have that need. They are exposed, though, and know that we are in all these categories. And we don't necessarily look at them as product categories. We look at them as product solutions. And while we love to sell every one of these categories to every one of our retailers, that does not happen overnight. So we mine that dealer base. We try to proliferate our different categories into the existing dealer base, and we met with some success doing that. We clearly have a lot more upside in front of us, which is the exciting part.
Okay, so what were the initial things? Because everyone always talks about that a good CEO keeps their list for the year, 1, 2, 3 things that you're going to really do. The initial, when you came in, to win them over, get them solution-oriented, and see where your opportunities are. What were your initial focus points?
Well, we put in some fundamental basic, what I'll call business systems, not in the sense of an ERP change. Not in that sense. I'm talking about.
But you still did an ERP change?
No.
Same one?
Same one.
Okay.
Same one. We just utilize it differently today. And but the overall thing was we had to enhance the communication. Mm-hmm. We had to empower the managers, and we had to institute accountability. And if you kind of do those things, and you set some type of direction, the direction wasn't completely in focus on day one. You'd like to think your crystal ball's that clear. It's not true. You're feeling your way through it. And we layered the different directions that we have as a company over the course of time. And we woke up and we said, we've got a company here that can provide a lot of solutions to a large group of retailers, of e-tailers, we've met with some reasonable success.
Wonderful success. Enviable success.
Well, yes. I mean, as good as you might think we are, I can tell you that there are multiple ways we can get better.
Oh, sure. What about delivery? That's a nice point of differentiation and how you can win business. How did you get from where you were to what you offer today?
Well, the neat part about Klaussner, if you research their DNA, goes all the way back to Stuart Love, who had created Stuart Furniture in a garage in Asheboro, North Carolina. And he sold furniture to the mobile home industry. And the way the mobile home industry was set up, they would sell mobile homes basically on the weekends, and they would also deliver mobile homes on the weekends. So he would pick up his order on a Monday for the furniture that was going to go in a particular mobile home, and he had to deliver it by Friday. So literally Stuart Love, as far as I'm concerned, was a pioneer in this industry in terms of just in time before JIT was even an acronym. Now, it was a narrow, curated selection of product. It's obviously very promotional. Mm-hmm. But in terms of the thought process with speed and turning your inventory and managing your assets aggressively, he did it. I consider him to be one of the pioneers in that. That was instilled in the company. Now, we don't have 5-day lead times today with custom order, but we do. We have about, we guarantee 21 days or less, but it's somewhere between actually the 13th day and the 19th day when it comes off the product lines. For a product line as broad as this is, with as many fabric SKUs as we have, with as many leather articles as we have, that's pretty good, best class in our price points.
But a few years ago, that wasn't what you were doing.
Well, let's talk about the landscape of our dealer base many years ago. Probably at one time, Klaussner had more storefronts, literally more doors that the end consumer could go through to see their product than maybe anybody else in this industry. They sold Montgomery Ward, Heilig Myers, Sears Home Life, Rhodes, Levitt's, Wicks, Siemens. I know I'm leaving somebody out. You know what all those have in common?
Unfortunately, I do.
Yeah. Okay. But they were like, I think every one of those that I named off had 100 to 200. I mean, at one time, Heilig Myers had almost 2,000 doors. So, obviously we delivered furniture quick, but it was an entirely different model. It wasn't custom order, it was stock. So you had more visibility to your forecasting. You had a lot of things there that.
So you already had logistics in place as well?
Yeah, we had logistics in place. We use 3PLs. They use 3PLs. They never had we don't have our own truck fleet. We move our own freight. We invoice for our own freight, but we do it through 3PLs.
That's not going to change.
No, I'm not in the freight business. I'm in the furniture business. I know how to
furniture solution business.
The furniture solution business. I know how to manufacture. We know how to manufacture a piece of upholstered furniture and leather furniture, and we've developed a very nice, rounded out business in businesses like our Klaussner case goods, our Enzo sleep systems, Klaussner motion, a Klaussner outdoor, which is our last entree into. And you got to keep in mind one thing: the beauty behind all of that is it all ships on one truck at one time in a compressed length of time. So the way we like to look at this is if we have the time and can get the focus of our retail partners and say, okay, let's think about this. Buy our line broadly. You know why? Because you're going to maximize your freight. You're not going to have to be carrying depth on any one category, and we're going to turn it fast for you. But we'll probably be shipping you truckloads if you buy us broad enough. We're just shipping them more frequently, and you have a truckload comes straight to you, right? Because it's full of your furniture. Anything less than a truckload could be interlined, it could be interchanged somewhere. But the way you build that truck is you can either buy us broad or deep, but that fills the trucks.
Okay, you guys work pretty well together, right? Now imagine working even better in a seamless partnership as a finely tuned duo, a well-crafted combo. Okay, you get the idea. Look, these days product data is everything. Consider all the time spent creating and updating all that information about the products manufacturers make and retailers sell. You think you're in control of your product data, but maybe it's product data that's controlling you. For every product, there could be dozens and dozens of versions and variations and styles. Just keeping all that product data current and accurate between manufacturers, retailers, and all of those online channels, well, it's enough to strain even the best partnerships. After all, manufacturers should not be the data bad guy, and retailers should not have to beg for data updates and revisions. Engaging in endless conversations about product data details is not why either of you got into this business, now was it? But solving all those headaches is exactly why we did. We're Amber Engine, and we're built to make sense of it all, with a product that finally offers a data solution for manufacturers and retailers. All product data, all product imagery, gathered in one convenient portal so manufacturers can manage and retailers can download data they want in the format they need, driving sales faster and more effectively to their customers better than ever before. Retailers and manufacturers should focus on what makes them great. Amber Engine solves the product data problem and helps make that possible. Get back to remembering why you got into this business in the first place. It's time for you to take control of your products and not let your product data control you anymore. Visit us at amberengine.com to learn more about how your life could get so much easier.
So when we talk about the retail model and how it's changing, there are a lot of theories, some that seem more reasonable than others. And one of them that's more reasonable is the use of how to use digital in a smaller store footprint. How do you see your organization fitting in that, based on the line of what you were just talking about, giving me the opportunity of less square footage, but a pre-shopping experience and a meaningful experience when I'm in the brick and mortar store?
Yeah, that I think is where we have a very distinct advantage, because we do custom order as far as my factories, my plants are concerned, every order that they see is a custom order. They can't distinguish between a stock order and a custom order because it's all built on the same schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at what we can do to assist the retail sales associate, we have on the internet we have a tool called the Service Net. That tool tells them when they place the order, they have the ability to place the order on the Service Net. They have the ability to select the cover on the Service Net. They have the ability to drape the piece of furniture with that cover on the Service Net. They also have the ability to know if I'm in stock on that or not. And if I'm not, we offer them 3 alternative selections. So at the point of sale, the retail sales associate can say, Miss Jones, Klaussner is temporarily out of this fabric, but they will be in stock on X date. However, they've recommended 3 different possibilities that you might like just as much. All of this is taking place in real time, rather than someone taking the order for what she selected. She leaves, and they find out from many of their suppliers 2 and 3 weeks later that that's out of stock and it won't be back in stock for a long time. By the way, our 21 days or less is about a little over 96% reliability, on-time delivery.
So a lot of people complain about that everything falls apart at the RSA level. But if you give the right tools that an RSA feels like they can be confident and they won't be embarrassed, they're going to sell more.
Yeah, and it becomes, yes, you're exactly right about that. But what happens is, by nature, by human nature, the retail sales associate is going to go to the product that they feel the most comfortable with. They're also going to go to the product that they've had reliability of delivery. Most of those retail sales associates are paid on a commission when those goods are shipped.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can sell a piece of goods and they know that there's a very high likelihood, 96% of the time, that it's going to deliver within 21 days and be in the consumer's home, inside of 30. Once they taste that repetitive response of ours, they go to our products. They're comfortable.
Well, how do you help the retailer on this premise that you hear a lot about that on the weekend there's an in-store activity, but the consumer is going online Monday and Tuesday and actually placing or okaying that order, a lot of times through e-commerce associated with that store. How do you fit into that scenario that's unfolding?
Well, they have, if it goes through e-commerce or it goes through a retailer, there's some filter there. Now, we do not sell B2C directly to the consumer.
Oh, right. No, I'm saying it's still happening as the retail experience or the retailer experience, but they might be at the store and say, yeah, I think I like it, but let me talk to my spouse or let me talk to my friends, and then actually place it on Monday or Tuesday.
Well, they would place it either back through the store. That would, they would place it at the point of sale. They could do it through a phone call. They have the ability to print off a picture of the draped piece of upholstery, send it home with them. Write the quotation down for the selling price. They have all of that ability to identify it. So the consumer depends on how they want to communicate.
So it's really your relationship with that retailer and giving them the information and access to the information to give them the confidence to close that sale.
That's really it in a nutshell. And there's one other thing that we do, and I think we do very well. We have a program called Klaussner University.
All right.
Okay, and each one of our product lines has a module that we basically provide sales training over the internet. We encourage all the retail sales associates to go in, log in, go to that module. Let's say the module is for Klaussner upholstery. It not only teaches them things that are inherent to our product, but it teaches them basics to upholstery in general that they can apply to other products, our competition's products. But it also gives them the introduction to the nuances about our products. And at the end of the day, after they go through that module, they take a test.
It's key.
They take a test now, and that is forwarded back to us, and we're able to track that. So what that does for our salesmen that are on the road, and that's their livelihoods, and that's where we want them. They have the service component. Sales training is a big part of that service component. You also realize there's a lot of turnover of retail sales associate. So this Klaussner University is a great benefit that the retail sales associate can use at their convenience. And we encourage the owners of these retail stores to encourage their retail salespeople to do this. And it's helped. It's a wonderful tool.
I've seen in other markets where the salespeople would go in, train, well, your salespeople would go in, train the RSAs, and then that would be it. You'll see them again in some period of time. That having the opportunity to education that complements that in person is really essential. And that sounds like what you're also doing.
Yeah, correct.
Not only is it when they have the time to do it, it's also a nice complementary package.
That's exactly right. And by the time they take each module of all of our different product categories, they got a pretty good working knowledge of how to sell and a vocabulary to sell home furnishings.
So let's take it a step further. Let's say you're a retailer. Have you seen any retailer do this? That I have an RSA and I'm giving you X commission. You go through the Klaussner training and show that you completed it all, and as a result, that commission goes up because now you're more valuable to my organization because you have that knowledge. Have you ever worked with somebody that integrates it into that kind of thing?
I have no firsthand knowledge that's ever taken
That's
place.
a good idea.
It could be a wonderful idea. I mean, how you encourage them. Our encouragement to the retailer is, look, you go through the modules. You tell me if it doesn't teach your sales associates how to sell upholstery. Now, the fact that it's Klaussner upholstery, and we put our nuances in there about we call those out, but it gives you the basics of how to sell these product categories. So that's the retailer's business. How he wants to incentivize his people to utilize the tool. It's incumbent upon us to make sure the retailer knows that the tool is there, mm-hmm. and that we've effectively explained why it's an asset and how it can benefit him.
Right, so then going back to the solution, now you're another solution to that retailer. You're a solution in training their team to be more successful.
I'd like to think so. I really would. We've invested a lot of time and money in this if it's not working, but we have excellent feedback from the people that use it. We get excellent feedback from our sales organization of what a valuable tool it is, no differently than the ServiceNet. That's, again, an information tool.
Okay. If we could spend a few minutes on how you have a learning environment in your company and how you take your management team and ensure that they keep learning and they're fully engaged and seeing that this is my career long term and that they know you're vested in them.
Well, there are multiple ways that I could sit here and tell you that we do that. We have a management team that's very well aligned because many of them are stakeholders, shareholders in the company. And and at various levels. But that will align people.
Sure.
That will align people quicker than anything. To be quite honest with you.
The budget performance becomes a little bit more powerful.
Exactly. And you know, while we do empower our people, our management, we do give them the autonomy.
So your expectation is, we're giving you these goals. We want you to self-educate too. We want you to be curious, and we want you to bring ideas to the group.
That's right. And you know, we make our share of mistakes. A mistake really becomes a bad mistake if you don't learn from it.
Right.
So we use that mentality. You know, you've heard the word continuous improvement. You know, we feel like we have a shop that you know, everything we do is based on continuous improvement. How can we make it better? How can we improve it? And we're constantly evaluating and checking our progress.
You do a lot of benchmarking, don't you, throughout? You have certain goals and you're measuring them regularly, and it's fully disclosed.
Absolutely. We have and it's transparent across disciplines.
Excellent.
Okay, so you can walk into a particular large room. In our shop, we call it the strategic visual room. And everything's on the wall. Every discipline, all the key metrics, all in the same template, and color-coded, which, you know, obviously green means very good, yellow means, you know, you're missing some target, either the completion date or you're having some issues, and of course red's not good. So you walk through there and you get a pretty good sense of what's happening in each one of our disciplines, and it's a standard practice for our executive management to go through that process once a week.
Once a week, they know where they stand in that color.
And they know where the company stands.
Mm-hmm.
And because you can't run a business in a silo. You can't have this discipline that is running their own little silo and this one, because they're all intermingled, you know? And the chances are, within a good group of senior executives, if there's a problem in one area of the company, it's probably affecting them in their area. And, you know, they need to know this. But also, the chances are when you get that much, hopefully, critical thinking in a room, you know, somebody might help me solve my problem in my discipline or give me a different way to look at it. So that is, that's just the way we operate. It's very cross-functional. It's very open. And it's the opportunity to shut the door with your senior staff, and you know, there's nothing sacrosanct. You talk about it all.
So that meeting breaks down. Well, our division wants to do better than your division. Instead, you're one company. You're united for the same reason.
Correct. Yeah, and it's you know we've got, but basically, the product lines are segmented out, but I'm talking about manufacturing, logistics, operations, human resources, all of this. That's what I consider the various disciplines within the company, and they're all intermingled,
mm-hmm.
some form or fashion. And
to have them, you have to have the trust in them, because you're having a serious dialogue that they need to understand the weight of that dialogue each week.
That's right, but you gotta realize we make the decisions. The operative word in that sentence is we. Now look, do I have to break some ties? Yes, you know, you somewhere and there you have other business reasons for maybe making a decision that was not the obvious choice. But you rationalize those and you move on. I'm talking just your day-to-day operation. This is how we communicate. This is how we run the business.
No, but that's what you want anyway, right? You want your team to be making those decisions, that you're all so aligned that you don't have to be the one that they're going to all the time.
Yes. I mean, you know, they again, they're empowered.
Right.
And and they know me well enough. I encourage that they make a decision. You know, no decision is bad too.
Right. That just stops it.
That just stops it.
I'm going to ask you a few words and then we'll wrap it, okay? First one, tell me what you think when I say this. Lean manufacturing.
Best practice.
Laser focus.
Concentration.
Evolution.
Must have.
Relevance.
Everybody's got to prioritize.
Thanks.
Priority.
Is there anything we didn't talk about that I should have asked you about that others can learn from?
You know, this is just one person's way with a group of managers of running a business. I'm sure that if you sit down with a dozen other CEOs in this industry, in some form or fashion, they're doing something very similar. It's just, you know, I put it in Bill Wittenburg's words. That's how we run our company. So I think you pretty much covered it. I hope I haven't given away all my secrets.
You just created so many competitors you never had before.
Well, come on in. The water's warm.
But so I had the honor, the opportunity to spend a day with your company, go through all of it. Blown away. I'm a huge fan. I'm out there always talking about how impressive your company is. I think your management team is as good as anyone could have as a management team, and at the same time, the most humble people. I would say, you know, they're the nicest people when you meet them, and there's so much under the hood. It takes you a few questions before you find out there's some real power in that group.
Well, I mean, I believe this. Look, you have to check your ego. If you're going to work as a team, I mean, that's a must. Now, we all have egos, but you've got to be respectful. You've got to pick your battles, and you at the end, when the decision's made, you walk out of the room in lockstep. And that's just the way it has to be done. I mean, that's the only way I think it works.
Amen. Thank you for this. It's wonderful.
Thank you, Dean.